Smoothie. Obviously, that probably wasn't the result you were looking for today. Quick question is that you have played a lot of Rakan this split. I think you've got the highest win rate with him. I'm just wondering, what was the reason to ban him in the second phase of draft right there?
So we already had Braum, right? So obviously I can pick Rakan. And Rakan's pretty good versus Braum overall. He can get in and out, and Braum can't really reliably CC him when he's doing his thing. So it was a pretty good ban to. It's traditionally a pretty good ban to enable the Braum pick to have value.
Pedro, you can go next.
Yes, hi, Smoothie. Within sticking on with the draft, your team selected Akali to face off against Renekton and also Trundle to face off against Volibear. How exactly did those picks struggle against GG's picks, which then led to the loss?
So I think we were just not prepared well enough. We didn't have we obviously got dove top. I think we weren't prepared for that at all. We didn't talk about it. We didn't make it as like urgent as it had to be, and we were already pathing down with Broxa. So yeah, I mean they dove top, and then they burned Rise's flash, which led to another kill in mid. And yeah, the game's just really hard from there. I think we still could have came back from a play on bot that kind of botched, and we actually lost the game because of it. But yeah, that ruined our early game. And in theory, our champs are pretty good. You know, if we got an early game and we get snowballing or at least even, the team fights will be really, really easy for us because Trundle and Braum are just so good against their front line. And we have strong lanes in bot. And yeah, we just have good scaling, right, with the Kali. So yeah, we just got kind of caught off guard, I guess, and it's our own mistakes. But if we play better, I think we could win this game for sure.
Thank you. Shay, you can go next.
One thing that really caught me off guard this game was the Rel pick from Chime. Now, I don't think we've seen Rel since Spring Split. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, did that catch you off guard at all? Or did did you expect some sort of Rel pick at all?
Yeah. So Rel, she's a champion, you know? Like, I think Chime, he plays like a very small pool of champions, which is fine, you know? And Rel's one of them. And I kind of expected it to come. And I was fine playing the broad matchup into it. And we had pretty good success in lane. We had pressuring pretty hard. But we just couldn't impact the game well enough to make up for our deficit in top side early game. And yeah, we could have, if we played a little bit better in the bot fight, I think we could have played, actually turned the game around and made a comeback. But because of some individual mistakes, we messed up the fight and the game was over from there. We got like 1 kill for 5. It was pretty rough.
Another thing is that Wowto, he's picked Callista twice now, and he's won both times. Now, despite him just being good at Callista, is there another reason why Callista's so good in the meta right now? Because I think we've seen quite a lot.
Yeah, I think Callista is just a really strong pick in the meta right now. She actually scales better than before with the new build path. There's so much lifesteal in the build and survivability that if she ever gets ahead, she's just unkillable and can manage waves really well. Yeah, she's actually just like a good champion right now. And because of the meta, topside champs are all like divers. It complements team comps really well too. And I think that's like mostly the reason why Callista is really strong right now around the world.
Another thing in this patch, obviously, there's new items, Infamous Chains being one of them. Now, you tend to sometimes go a lot of tank champions, Leona, Nautilus, Alistar. Have you had much time to test out the new items?
I've tested some of them. It's not really. I think you can justify Anathema's chains with some champions, but I think for support, you don't really build most of them. I think like traditional builds are in the like the cheesiest builds you can go are like the Abyssal Mask builds on like Nautilus, and those are mostly fine. But yeah, for Anathema's chains, I think like you can definitely build them. Like I've seen other regions play it. Like one game with Thresh built it, one game like Leona built it, I think. And yeah, it seems okay, but I don't know if it's like OP or anything.
another new item is Hullbreaker, right? And we've heard quite a lot of mixed feelings about the item. Some people have said it's awful, don't pick it, don't build it. You know, what's your thoughts on Hullbreaker as well?
Well, for me right now, the game is all about team fighting, and split pushing is a style that was encouraged in the past, and they're trying to encourage it more with Soulbreaker. But I think the game just revolves too much around fighting right now, and I could be proved wrong. Like maybe in like 1 or 2 weeks, champs like Camille and stuff that can actually build Hullbreaker will start building it and start popping off. But for now, around the world, I haven't seen too much of it, and yeah, we'll have to see if it stays that way.
Another change in this patch as well is Tom Kench. Obviously, he's now been he's now have his rework. Now, you've never actually played Tom Kench, or even when Center Kench Auto. Is there a reason why you've never chose that composition? And do you think that, you know, there's going to be another champion replace Tom Kench?
Well, I'm not sure about that one. I think for me, Tom Kench is just like a champion that if your team plays well around Tom Kench and you can play a slower game and can more controlled game, it's a really good champion. But I think for some teams, most teams in LCS actually are not of that style. Most teams play like really fast team fighting, skirmishing, and they kind of want their support to be on like an engager champion, which yeah, I mean a vast majority of teams play that style. And for the Senate Tom Kench, we're not sure yet. I haven't seen too many sample sizes of the new Tom Kench yet. Obviously, we can't play on this patch, but in solo queue, it actually feels pretty good. So hopefully, with the new changes, it incentivizes more like aggressive play with Tom Kench versus like just, you know, sitting behind your AD carry and eating. But yeah, it's pretty strong. I played in solo queue a lot, and yeah, it's a pretty good champion, I think.
Pedro, you can go next.
Yeah, so looking over at the overall league standings, both CLG, FlyQuest, and Golden Guardians are tied. Well, they're separated by 1 game for the final playoff spot. You've already mentioned the necessity to prepare more for games in the future. Are you starting to feel that pressure that as the playoffs near and the importance behind each game increases bit by bit? Do you feel that pressure is starting to build now?
Well, the pressure's always been there, even from like spring split, right? Like for us, we've been practicing for such a long time, but we didn't get the results we wanted, obviously. It's rather disappointing for all of us, I think. We put in so much time and effort. But yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's kind of like, you know, take every game by game, don't worry too much about it. Like adding pressure only like hurts us rather than like helps us. I mean, a healthy amount of pressure is good, right? But for us, we just want to make every game count and play our best and be comfortable. And hopefully we prepare better in future games and we'll get some more wins.
Going forward this weekend, you're going against Evil Geniuses and you're going against 100 Thieves. Now, you all know what happened last time you went against 100 Thieves, right? Absolute domination of a game. There's not much we can speak on that. But I'm not sure how much you're on social media, but Upcomer, another esports outlet, rate 100 Thieves top 8 in the world. Now, you CLG took down 100 Thieves a couple of weeks ago. It was 0-24, I believe. Now, do you think 100 Thieves being top 8 in the world is quite accurate? And, where do you think, they do stand if it's not accurate?
I think that's a stretch. Like top 8 in the world, I don't think so. I think like a majority of the LPL teams, like even the top 10 would probably be like as good, if not better. And like same with like Korea, like with the I guess like Damwon is slumping right now, but a lot of the teams are pretty good, T1 doing pretty good, Genji. And yeah, I definitely say it's a stretch for them to be top 8 in the world, but they are a good team. And I don't think it'll be as dominant as last time. I think they just had a bad game or like they hesitated versus us or something. Yeah, they're a good team though. I don't think they're a bad team by any means, for sure. They're the first place right now. And yeah, we just have to prepare as well as we can and play our style against them and hopefully we'll win.
All right, that completes our scrum. Thank you, Smoothie, for answering all of our questions. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, have a nice
Yeah,
night.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.